So now that we understand the crisis of connection, why we should care about the crisis of connection, what underlies the crisis of connection, the next and final part I want to talk about is what can we do about it? How can we address the crisis of connection to help boys have better friendships and better relationships? And the first thing I have to say is we have to make it public that this is normal, that boys' desire for close friendships, that boys' desire for emotionally intimate relationships with boys and girls is normal. It's a normal thing for boys to want. And so I've had many examples in which I go into classrooms with teenage boys and I begin to talk about my findings. And usually when I start talking about those findings, about boys talking about how much they love their best friend and how much they can't live without them, there's always oftentimes giggles in the classroom. And then when I've asked in a recent 7th grade classroom, I said to the boys, "Why are you laughing?" And the boys said, "Well, the dude sounds gay." And so my response to them was to say, well, in fact, I don't know the sexuality of this particular boy, but let me tell you that 85% of all the boys I've ever interviewed over 30 years sound like this at some time during adolescence. And the boys looked at me with their mouth slightly agape, and they said, "For real?" And then I said, yes, in fact, that's what I find in my research, that at that moment, the minute they heard that it was normal, the boys all started to want to share their own stories of friendships and their own love for particular boys in the classroom or the ways in which they wanted to have friendships. 2 boys even talked about how they had fallen out in their friendship and how it made them both sad. They were both in the classroom together. And so it became obvious to me at that point that it's easy to let boys know that this is normal desire. It's a normal part of just simply being human. The second thing that we have to value is we have to value the emotional acuity of boys. They are remarkably emotionally intelligent. They say things, they notice things, they see the human world, they see the emotional world, and if you listen carefully, they say remarkable things. For example, the classroom full of boys who said that the root of the mass murder by Adam Lanza in Newtown, Connecticut, had to do with loneliness. And they saw it immediately. While the mass culture was focusing only on guns, and certainly guns is a huge part of the equation, but they also noted something else that not many people were talking about, which is loneliness. And that leads to the third thing that we have to do, which is we have to stop ignoring boys' loneliness. And we oftentimes, as a culture, we frame these boys as loners. We think they're just loners, they don't want friendships. Very few boys are loners, actually. Very few boys actually don't want friendships. Most boys do. When boys communicate to counselors, to their physicians, to their parents, to their friends, that they feel lonely or that they're feeling frustrated, that they can't find the friendships that they want, we need to take that seriously. We need to think about how to help boys have those relationships. And there's all sorts of strategies we can use to helping them join different activity groups, helping them join after-school activities, helping them have good friendships. But we really need to take that desire seriously when boys express it. The final sort of overarching strategy we need to think about is really engaging constantly in challenging stereotypes about boys, about girls included. So we have these stereotypes in our culture that boys are thinkers and not feelers, and girls are feelers and not thinkers. Well, that's simply not the case. We know that from research, and we also know that from our own children, that these are thinking and feeling is simply a human thing. We all have extraordinary capacity for thinking and feeling. So we really need to be challenging those stereotypes, showing our children that they're not true.